Alright, so what we're going to do today is we're going to torque the crank bolt up today, and then we're going to go ahead and put the flywheel, the gearbox on the car, and basically start putting the engine into the car. So let's see how far we can get today. I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse, and I'm going to show you roughly how long it takes, and we go from there. Alright, let's go, let's do this. Stage number 1, torque wrench, 24mm. You need to torque the center bolt on the crankshaft to 150 Newton meters, and afterwards you got to do a 90 degrees. So let's see how far we can get. I don't think I'll better do the full 90 degrees because I'm reusing the bolt, but I'll get, if I get half a turn, I think that's more than tight enough. But let's see how far we can get into that. So, you can hold that for me. You got to put your hand on here as well, yeah? No, you don't push it, you just hold it like here, like this, otherwise it comes off. So that's 150 Newton meters. And now what we're going to do, we get a marker, we're going to make a dot right there. Now we want the dot to essentially line up around here. That will be 90, and around here it will be about 45. So we just need to turn this bolt to either 45 or towards 90. 90 will be absolutely within spec, but because we're reusing the bolt, we are going to see if we can get it close to 45. So this may take a little bit of strength, so I'm going to use a bar, breaker bar slash ratchet, and an extension on it as well. So yeah, let's see how far we can get into this. Cool. You have to hold this right here, but don't put too much pressure on, otherwise it will want to come out. So just need to put that on there. I'm just going to have to push down. You got to push down hard, yeah? You see your one's coming out. So what I want you to do is you're going to have to hopefully see, this is not as easy as it looks, because you have to hold this at the same time. This is not easy at all, I promise you that much. Yeah, the pin broke off of this, so that sucks, but so we turned it basically just a little bit towards the 45. We're going to do a bit more. This right here. Yeah, should use this. Let's try this. Push it in the middle as well, because this is what is on that. I simply can't turn it any more than that. I tried my best. Let's have a look.
Try one more time.
Yeah, okay. tires are going to be there. So it probably went around about nearly 45 degrees. It's not absolutely 45, but it's near enough. I physically cannot turn it any more than that because it's elongated or elliptical. It made the holes into a bit of an elliptical because that tool broke because of the amount of torque it needs to go through, and the other one also is not doing very well. So just for a bit of information or satisfaction, I took this bolt out originally with this socket and a gun, and I put another socket on top of it. I'm pretty certain that's tight enough. 100 newton meters plus an extra, let's call it 30 newton meters or 40 newton meters, even though it's meant to be 90. I think it's more than enough. That's not going to come off at all. So we are tight enough. I'm not 100% happy with it because it is a lot of torque, but it broke both the tools. But that is plenty tight enough anyway. Let's move on to the next part. Right, so as you just saw, we did that. I put a gun on it afterwards. The holes that counter hold, it broke two tools basically. There's no other way around it, and we couldn't physically tighten up any more than that because it was constantly slipping the tools off. So I just put a gun on there then just to be a bit more secure and sure, if that makes sense. And then it is a bit more closer to the 45 degrees I made rather than the 90, but it's plenty tight enough. I mean, any more tight then it might snap the bolt, so we don't want that. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the flywheel on, but before we do that, we're going to raise the engine up on the crane, spin it around, and basically prepare it, and then we're going to put the gearbox on. Now this is hard, so I might have to put this on a time lapse. Ta-da! It's done. It's all in there. It was a mission. You can see there's a mess on the floor. Basically, the drive shaft flange, I took it out because I thought it wouldn't clear this little metal plate that sits between the gearbox and the flywheel. So the flywheel and the engine block. It did clear it, so meaning I didn't have to take that off. But because I had it off, it made a lot of mess on the engine, on the floor, the engine and gearbox oil. So I have to clean this out. Apart from that, pretty damn good to be fair. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up, put some of the starter motor bolts on there, everything, put it all together, get it outside and whack it in the car. Alright, so as you can probably see from the time lapse, the camera cut out, so I couldn't do much about that, but we got the entire engine in, everything is in. I might even put the front slam panel on today. I'm fairly confident everything is going to work, hence why I'm going ahead and putting everything on. So that's the reason you might see me going a little bit ahead, but it's because I'm sure everything is going to be fine. In terms of ECUs, I put everything in there. We might put the skirtle panel on, just basically get the stuff in together today, and we go for the first startup attempt tomorrow. The reason being is I didn't buy any oil today, or oil filter, which is a slightly dumb move on my part, but it is what it is. So let's just get the whole car put together, and then hopefully we should be good to go. So let me just put you back on a time lapse, and then we go from there. There you go, guys. The car is almost complete. Headlights are on, front radiator is on, pretty much everything is all connected up. Some of you guys might be saying you shouldn't have done this without having, the car started and so on. I just went ahead, and I'm sure that everything should be fine on this car, so I thought let's just skip ahead and continue on and start basically making some progress. However, it is getting a bit late. It's the fasting month of Ramadan, so I can't continue too much because we have to go inside in a minute. But pretty much we're maybe another hour or two away from basically putting it all together and being ready and ready to start it up. But not bad at all, to be fair. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Just a couple of few bits left, and then yeah, I had to put a lot of these things on the time lapse simply because, as you'll probably see, it takes a hell of a lot of time to put everything together, and just recording everything didn't make sense to me anyway, at least. So that's why I did it the way I did it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll complete it off tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.